What is up guys, and welcome back to SP Vids. In this video I want to talk to you about this DAWless workflow that I sort of came up with at the weekend. Made loads of beats with it, I had a lot of fun, so I thought it'd be useful to share this and talk about the topic a little bit. DAWless beat making is something that a lot of people are into and a lot of people want to get into as well. So I've got 3 devices here and I'll talk you through the workflow I was using. Hopefully it'll give you some sort of inspiration if you like making DAWless beats, and hopefully it'll provide some useful information if you're thinking about making DAWless beats or want to be a DAWless beat maker. So as you can see here, I've got 3 devices. I've got the SP202, the SP404sx, this could just be replaced by an A. It's the same device essentially. And then we've got the Zoom H5 recorder here at the end. So that's the main thing that makes this completely DAWless. So this isn't computerless, this setup. I'm actually using my computer to sample from. As you can see here, I've got the line in, which is coming straight out of my audio interface. And the main reason I'm using the SP202 is for repitching and slowing down samples as well. It does the same thing with the pitch. So you get a different pitch, slower tempo as well, which is great for lo-fi beat making. And over on the 404sx, basically what I've got here is just a load of drums, I've got noise, and also I was putting all my like rapper Foley's on here as well. So starting with the 202, this is awesome device for putting samples in and then using them in conjunction with another sampler. So the 202 on its own is not really a beat making machine, it's just a sampler that you can get samples in, re-pitch them, time stretch them, add filters, etc. And one of the amazing features about this as well is the different sample rates which are down the side here. I've mentioned this before, but hi-fi standard, lo-fi 1, lo-fi 2, you can just get such gritty sounds out of this. So I've got some samples in here. And I've sampled these all in as standard. Now, I found myself doing that for most samples. It just gives you that little bit more sample time. Hi-fi kind of eats up your sample time. I was sampling in mono as well. You could sample in stereo, but again, I'm trying to preserve sample time as well. So I've got 3 pads worth of samples here, and yeah, we haven't really used that much time. There's usually 32 seconds, so we're down to 24. So there's a little bit more room if we want to do anything else. And yeah, we've got these 3 samples, or 3 chops, should I say. And the 202 is running line out into the back of the 404sx, and the external source is on, as you can see at the bottom here. Hopefully the light's not too strong so you can't see that, but that's switched on. And obviously my favorite part of making beats with the 202 is just pitch and everything. So as soon as you hit pitch, this will affect all the samples on this bank, which you'll hear now. But it just gives that really amazing lo-fi character to your samples. Like I say, slows things down. So that's what I was using the 202 for. Really effective repitching samples, and yeah, just getting a bit of grit on them as well. Good thing is with the 404sx as well, you can apply effects to the external source. So you just hit remain and you have to just make sure that external source is lit as well. And that's how you apply effects to that. Sometimes I was doing that, sometimes I wasn't. But yeah, that's essentially it for the 202. I've got a little bit more to talk about on that, but it'll come into the conversation a bit later. So let's move to the 404sx. So what I was doing on this device is mainly just using this for drums and also noise as well. So I have some noises like this. They're in there ready to go, and I can change the level on that using start and level to match the sample and the rest of the song. Then I've got some drum sounds as well. So I could drum along like this if I wanted to. So what I'd do then is resample a drum loop. So I don't use hold for my drum loops. What I do is I take gate off and I put loop on. So I'll only need to press that once to have that looping round and round, and then if you want to stop it again, you can hit it again, which is quite useful because then you can add pauses to your beats. You have to be quite precise with it, but I'll try and give you a demonstration of how that can sound. So something like this. Need external source on. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. That's essentially how I was making the beats, and then I was recording that straight into the H5 recorder. So this isn't plugged in at the moment, but I was just using this cable. So this will go out of my SP404sx. It goes out the back of this device, and this would go into the two inputs on here. As you can see on the bottom, it's just got two inputs there. Super useful. So you just plug both in, and then you use the dials on the front to get the levels correct for both of them and make sure that 1 and 2 is selected on the recorder. So that was at the end of the chain, like this. So obviously at the moment for this video, this is going into my audio interface. So that's where I would use a DAW. Usually I would go from here to my audio interface and record into a DAW, but I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be completely DAWless, so I just went straight into this instead. And yeah, you just get a level on the front of this. It's super easy to use, and then you get a WAV file on the SD card, and you just drop that straight onto your computer and the beat's done. So yeah, once I had all this set up, this is how I would start recording a beat. I'd hit record on there, and then I'd just literally just start playing. And obviously with most lo-fi songs, they're usually about a minute to a minute and a half long. So luckily on the H5 as well, when you're recording, you get a timer. So I could just reference that as I was playing and kind of get an idea of how long the song or the beat had become. And essentially that is it really. One thing I did want to mention as well, which I mentioned earlier about the 202, I said I'd mention it later, is this is a really destructive workflow. Because of the lack of time that I've got on this, just on the internal memory, really is very destructive. I was having to make a beat, so I'd make a beat, I'd delete all the samples to start a new one. But then I thought, what if I wanted to go back and make changes, which when you're recording straight onto this and doing DAWless, you do have to do quite a lot, unfortunately, because sometimes you find that maybe the drums are a bit too loud, or the samples that you've played on the right order or something like that. Something that's very easy to correct on a DAW, but we don't want to be using a DAW, so you do have to go back and do the full beat again. Well, that's what I found anyway. So what happens, because I've deleted all the samples on there, so I can't re-record the beat. So what I started doing is using a bank here, and I actually just started backing up all the chops from the 202 onto one pad. So for example, if I had 3 pads worth of samples here, I'd record pad 1, leave a pause, record pad 2, record pad 3, all on one pad. So you get something like this. So that was a beat I was making, and that's all the chops that I used from the 202 backed up on my 404sx. So if I wanted to do the beat again, I could move those chops to a bank, cut them up again, and redo the beat. But yeah, that's with the pitching on and the filters and everything from the 202 as well. So that's a really useful and quick way of backing stuff up from the 202, so that if you do need to re-record a beat, you can try it over again. So I don't think there's really anything more to it. That was my workflow, that was how I was recording, and then yeah, just dropping the WAVs straight onto my computer and listening to them back. I'll put a beat at the end of this video which was made completely with this workflow, or maybe I'll do a few snippets of a few beats that I made. Really was a lot of fun doing this, so I highly recommend giving it a try if you've got access to a portable recorder. You can just go from this to your audio interface if you wanted to and use something like Audacity or GarageBand to record your beats. But being fully DAWless like this is really fun, and if you're away from your computer as well and you had, say, a turntable instead of a computer, you could actually do everything fully without a computer. So yeah, that's something that I probably should have mentioned earlier, that instead of using your computer, you can use any sample source. So it could be a tape deck, a vinyl player, anything like that, CD player, and then you would actually be fully computerless and fully DAWless as well, which is really interesting. So thanks for watching, guys. If you need some drums, head to spvids.com. I've got lo-fi drum packs on there for sale, and it really helps support the channel. So if you could head over and get one of those if you haven't already, I'd really appreciate it. Lo-Fi Drums Volume 3 has taken me ages to get finished. I've been testing it really vigorously and I wasn't liking some of the sounds in there, so I've been doing a bit more work on that, but I really hope I can get that out in the next week or so. And yeah, huge shout out to all my members as well who support me monthly. I really appreciate that, guys, so thank you very much. And until next time, guys, keep making beats, try this DAWless workflow and see how you like it. If you're already working DAWless, leave a comment below. I'd love to know your workflow. But apart from that, guys, keep making beats and I'll be back with more content very soon. Peace!